Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for checking back to, I don't like that at all. I have to think about what I was going to say. Oh, welcome back, everyone. Now, before I even get into the topic today, I had a little epiphany moment. I was driving in my car, and it's been really hot outside lately, so the windows were down, and I was jamming out to Florence and the Machine, Shake It Out. I love that song. Shake it out, right? And there were some little lyrics that, I think this is the reason I love the song so much, where she talks about how bad things that have happened or bad experiences, are kind of like holding us back. She's like dragging it around. And there's no better time to dance than when you're laying down on your back, like life has just thrown you down. And I find that song, it feels good, right? Because we've all had those really crappy days where we think things can't get worse and I'm so exhausted. But in the end, we get back up and we keep going, right? And it just made me think about what I'm doing. Healthy mind, healthy body. The videos I've been doing, I've only been doing this now, it seems like a really long time because we've been doing a lot of stuff and I'm very busy, and that's great. But we started in January, so we're going on 7 months just now. And I'm so impressed with all of the progress we're making. I mean, think about it. We're talking about it. That's a huge step. We're reaching out. A lot of us have made decisions to see therapists, to go into treatment, to tell our parents, to start reaching out to a friend. And that's amazing. I know how hard it is. I know how scary it can be. And I know not all of us get those perfect responses like, oh, really? Tell me more. And I'd love to support you, Sometimes people freak out and they don't give us exactly what we're hoping for. But you are so strong and you've been doing so much great work. And I just want to tell you all how proud I am. And all the work that we keep doing. And I have made a commitment to keep doing this and to keep making videos. And I just kind of want to let you know what I'm working on right now. And because I'm getting great feedback and you guys are, really helping me on this journey as we try to spread the word and we break through the stigma of eating disorders. But I'm trying to reach out to different magazines and television shows so that I can help spread the word of healthy mind, healthy body, and that we're not alone. Like before I said, there's 8 million of us suffering. And a lot of us can't afford treatment, we can't get help. And so I want to make it more available on a larger scale so that people have more, access to information. So just keep it up. You're doing a great job, and keep giving me feedback, keep helping me spread the word. Like I said in my other video about breaking through the stigma, I challenge you to do one thing, to share, to like it, to repost it, to reblog it on your Tumblr. Do something. Help spread the word so that other people out there know that they're not alone either. Okay? Now today's topic is something that I'm sure a lot of us either have questions about or we might have questions about in the future. And that is, how do eating disorders affect our romantic relationships as well as our libido, our sexual desire? I know a lot of people are embarrassed to talk about it, but it's something that happens, right? If we fall in love, we are with somebody and we have no desire to make out with them, to have sex with them, anything like that. Why? Why don't I ever want to? And a lot of us are really self-conscious because we have body image issues, and that's asking a lot for us to let somebody in that close, right? So I'll start talking about the libido a little bit. And I did a little bit of research because I have had a lot of patients that have struggled with this, but I didn't know the statistics, and I wanted to kind of pool some information from different studies to make sure I was getting a well-rounded, number. But the studies have shown about 45 to 50% of people who suffer from anorexia nervosa show decrease in sexual desire. So that can be anything from not wanting to have sex, not wanting to make out, not even thinking about being with anybody else. If we're single, we're not even looking, we have no desire for a relationship. It talked about desire in all of those facets. And for bulimics and binge eaters and EDNOS people, it was about 35 to 40% had that decrease in libido. So that's a very serious issue. And I just want to let you know that because those numbers are so high, if you're having that problem, it's normal. It's okay. I know it can be embarrassing. We don't want to talk about it, but just know that that's, as sad as it is to say, it's kind of a normal side effect of an eating disorder. And I know that many of us know that the long-term effects, obviously for women, if we have amenorrhea, if we haven't had our period in a long time, that can actually lead to us being barren, not being able to actually have children. It can really, our eating disorder can kind of destroy our sexual organs, our ability to have a child. And why that really is because when we starve our body, when it doesn't get enough nutrients, it gets rid of things it doesn't need. And our body actually doesn't need to reproduce. That's one of the first things to go. And I know that's really sad, and that's something that can really damage us later on. I know I have a client who was 42 when I started seeing her, and she'd had a horrible time conceiving and ended up adopting because she wasn't able to after, you know, all the ramifications. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's not a scare tactic. I know all of you are aware, but I just want to let you know, if you feel like you don't have the urge, and your friends maybe talk about it, especially guys too. I'm sure guys talk more about, you know, wanting to have sex and wanting to get with this person or whatever, and you just don't feel that same excitement. It's kind of a normal side effect. Our body needs, that's an extra. So our body needs the nutrients and the energy to have that extra, okay? Now the second portion of this video is our romantic relationships. And I'd even go to say all of our relationships, because all relationships need the same ingredients. We need communication. That's number one on my list, always, communication. Because if we're not honest, we can't really be with somebody, right? I know it's scary to let people in, and you don't want to be on a first date and be like, let me tell you about my whole life, right? That can be a little bit overwhelming, and I don't want you to be that emotionally vulnerable that early, but just like any relationship, you slowly get to know people. And how do we do that? By talking. And if we're not telling them about our eating disorder, or we're not telling them that we had an eating disorder, or that we're going to treatment, or that we're seeing, we slowly push them away. Do you ever feel like you do that almost as like a protective mechanism? We kind of slowly weed them out. I always think about it like a thorn in your skin and how your body slowly will push it out. I always feel like that's kind of what we do with different relationships. We're like, oh, this is uncomfortable. I don't know if I can trust you. Ugh. We slowly push them away, right? So I would encourage you, if, and this is a big if we really care about this person, if we think it's worthwhile getting to know them, we're taking the time in a relationship to get to know them. If maybe we're already even married, right? Maybe we're already living with them. It's a very serious relationship. We're going to have to start to let them in. I know, it sucks. It's overwhelming. But this doesn't mean it's an emotional dump. This means it's little by little. So I would encourage you this week, so we have 7 days worth of time. When you're sitting down, you're talking, maybe you're watching TV and you're sitting on the couch, or you're, you know, out to dinner or whatever you're doing with them, going on a walk. Just tell them a little bit about it. Say, there's something I just want to share with you. You know, I know that you know X, Y, Z, because maybe they know a little bit about you. But you could even say, oh, next week on Wednesday, I know we say we're going to do this, but I have to see my therapist. Start being honest, sharing little tidbits. In my experience, guys don't ask a whole lot of questions. They're pretty simple. So if you just like give them a little bit of information, they might say, oh, you're seeing a therapist. Oh, what for? And you can just say, oh, it's just someone to talk to. I can tell you more about it later. They won't ask any more questions. I don't know why. Sometimes it's annoying when we want them to, but this will be one of those times when you don't want them to. So just give them little bits of information. And for guys, I'm sorry, girls might ask a lot of questions, so you might want to start sharing just a little bit at a time and just say, you know, I don't want to talk about it anymore. You can shut us down because we'll stop. But begin letting people in, because eating disorders can really break down relationships. When we don't have honesty, we don't have open communication, we can't go on to those other steps. Okay? So let me know. Leave your feedback below. Let me know if you have a relationship, if you're married, if you're with somebody, and you have questions or something that's worked for you. Like maybe you sit down once a week. I know some couples do this. They sit down once a week and they talk about their week. If there's something like that that's working, or a way that you've shared it with someone and you got great feedback and a great response, let us know. We can learn from one another. I always say, you know, we want to make sure that we're learning from each other. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because every week I put out new videos, sometimes more than once a week, and then you'll get notified about it. And don't forget to check out my website, because I have a free workbook on there. Along the tabs along the top of the screen, it says workbook. You can click and download it, because there's some great information in there as well. And just keep working with me as we move towards a healthy mind and a healthy body.